What time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, he's back from the dead. Your show. Putting it on the map, yeah. Saskatoon. Right next to New York. New York. Yeah, what show, yeah. Your show. What time is it? Your show. Yeah, time to talk some shit, yeah. Your show.
You've tuned in, yeah.
Yeah, von Maggie. Bark, bark, wolf, wolf, who wants a treat, yeah. Keep listening.
Hello and welcome into the Thursday edition of Your Show. Still, I gotta tell you, man, we're almost upon the 1 year anniversary, and that intro from our friends at 911 Turbo still slaps, still goes. And a big, big thank you to them for making magic each and every time the Golden Crate gets open, because that's what Von Trask and Von Hattie do. My name is Gary. Welcome to the party. This is still, as far as we know, the only show on the internet originating from Saskatoon, going live Monday to Friday, 4 to 5 p.m., scheduled viewing. And it's so cool to be able to say that because, again, no one else is doing it. And when you're doing stuff that no one else is doing, you get noticed. And that's how this place has continued to grow at a very fast rate and continues to do magical, incredible things for everyone involved. So thank you again to you for being a part of that. We also have a camera. This camera, soon to be award-winning. Not sure where the award's going to come from. But once you see this face, you'll understand why she deserves all the rewards. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Maggie Cam. Look at her. Woo! Looking very proud today. I always try to imagine that she knows there's a poster for her running for prime minister behind her, but I think in reality she doesn't. At the same time, she's always right around him. I feel like she knows what's going on. The Maggie Cam for our best pals over at Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer. Maggie has a boyfriend named Leroy. Leroy and Maggie met through the welcoming dog community in our beautiful city, and they are now Saskatoon's power puppy couple. Just like Margaret greets you here at the Dufferin Ave Media Network studios inside the Sotner Concrete Services Clubhouse, Leroy meets you at the door at Pet Planet on 8th Street. And when you walk in, he takes you up to the till. You say hi to Mike and or Rochelle. They guide you through your shopping experience, and they have everything that you need for your pet. We're talking dry food, raw food in the fridges at the back. We're talking treats, we're talking toys, we're talking clothing. Whatever you need for your animals, they have it all covered. And again, that cleaning station, second to none, man, I'm telling you. We're going to have an adventure with Maggie here real soon, and we're going to go show it off so you can see in video how amazing it is. But all of that, so much more. After hours, weekends, thanks to Kirsten, Shar, and Chris, they are always open and always there for you as she drifts off. That is our friends over at Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer. Look at her sleeping. Oh, so jealous. We just had a big talk in here about sleep and how important it is. And we realized all of us don't get any sleep. And then I realized again, oh, actually, no, it's just Network Ryan and I that don't get any sleep. This guy beside me right now, he gets a lot of sleep. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Johnny Factoid!
Hello, everybody. How are you today?
Tell
Gary?
everyone how good you are at sleeping.
I'm actually really good at sleeping. I can roll over and sleep. I pretty much sleep anywhere.
Man.
I literally can.
And
I've
you
done
know,
it.
a lot of people, exactly, a lot of people talk about, oh, you know, it's not that big of a deal that I can sleep anywhere. If you were to ask anybody who can't sleep, that would be like one of the main superpowers we would want. It's just the ability to sit down in a chair anywhere and just conk out.
Well,
that's how you stay so
it's
young
nice
and
to be able
beautiful.
to fall asleep easy. I'll tell you that.
Don't take it for granted.
No,
That's
I do
the
not.
story here today.
I do not.
So he's going to be hanging out throughout the show today, and whenever he shows up, we get smarter. He brings a nice little factoid for us to enjoy. You may remember him from the old show on Rock 102. Again, hello to everybody at Rock 102. Love you guys. Doing awesome things. He says cool stuff, and you say, oh my God, I didn't know that. And then you can tell your friends that you heard it from Johnny Factoid, and then you're instantly cooler. It's a very neat little system that we created years and years ago.
Chicks at parties, eh?
That's it. Hey
Works
girl,
every
come here.
time,
Come
60%
here.
of the
Have you heard the story?
Yeah.
And then you could be anyone. I was going to use the latest one, which I really, really enjoyed. Or was it this one, the Johnny Cash one?
The girl from Saskatoon. Yes,
You heard the story about the girl from Saskatoon?
Oh, yeah.
That's the pick.
There you go.
And then it's a really dark story. Yeah, that's not as good, I think. That's a bad example because that one ended in tragedy.
Yes,
yeah, moving right along. So we will get to him shortly. We also have another tradition around here. As I look at LB on the ones and twos today. Are we ready to go with that pre-tape? I forgot I didn't even ask you if it was all set up, so we're good to go. Okay. LB, my main man. Let's go ahead and see what the heck we're talking about. What's this Thursday tradition we got? It just wouldn't be a Thursday if we didn't have my man
That's
right
right.
here by my side. So you can use Matt Young in the house, saving
Yeah.
controllers. This is part 2 of a 2-part series.
Yeah.
How you doing, buddy?
First of all, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Doing
It sucks
fantastic.
that it's snowing outside.
Yeah.
It's April. I mean, this should not be happening.
Poor Network
but-
Ryan had to drive through the blizzard, so it's pretty blizzardy out there, just so you know.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, it stopped. It'll stop tonight, and hopefully spring comes. because-
I always forget weather guy as well. You know the weather.
Man, there you go. There you go. Well, why don't we start feeling a little more warmth talking some video games,
Here we
because we
go.
like to talk about video games
what
and
we do.
modding and local stuff and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So last week, as some people might remember,
I gave
you gave me a controller that I thought had been
Good
chewed
luck.
up by your dog and ran over by your car.
Yeah.
It was discolored, and it turns that yellow color that old video game systems sort of turn as they age. Well, there's a reason why old video game systems do that, and controllers. That's because you'll see a Super Nintendo or regular Nintendo or a controller for one of those systems. They were made with plastics that had to be use fire retardant chemicals at the time to meet safety guidelines, but of course they oxidize after many years and they turn yellow, and that's why your video game systems turn yellow. Well, Gary, of course, you brought me a controller that had turned yellow and also was barely working. I don't know if it did work.
It was really gross, the
It
gunk
was-
that was in there.
And the buttons wasn't.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we thought we would restore it. So the first thing we did is there's a way to actually change and make your Nintendo controllers turn gray again.
Woo!
Right, make your Nintendo controllers gray again. We use this product here, and that's a much better slogan, I think, isn't it? That's right. So you take this right here. This is a product you can buy at a hair salon, and you can buy it at beauty supply stores.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to be careful. You want to use rubber gloves if you can, because it has peroxide in it, and you use it because of the way the consistency. It's like a cream. It's easy to spread on the system. And what you do is you take this and we put it in a little bowl, and then we took an old toothbrush and we sprayed, or we sort of wiped this around and spread it like butter on toast over your controller. So if we take the top-down view right now, we'll have a look at it. I have it right here, and there we go. And here it is, okay, right here on screen, okay. And this is the back of your controller, and what we're gonna do, it still has some of that stuff on there.
Yeah.
And I just took it and let it sit out in the sun for a little while. I actually sent Gary a picture when
So
I was
cool.
doing it, right?
So cool.
So now we're gonna take it, and this stuff here that we put on it, this product here, okay, what you do is you spread it around on the back of your controller or your system or your console, and you let it sit outside on a sunny day, and the UV of the sun will actually react with the product
Science.
and turn your controller that nice gray color again. So now what we're going to do is we left it here last time, okay?
Yep.
And we put it, now I went away, I put it out in the sunshine. It was only about 3 or 4 degrees, but it still worked. And now we're going to kind of clean it off here, okay?
we
We're going to
go.
stick it in our bowl of water. There we go. And again, wearing rubber gloves, you want to do that. And we're just going to take this and we're just going to clean it all off, okay? And you're going to find that your Nintendo controller is nice, and it's got that nice Nintendo style gray color in it once again. And it was all
Fresh out of
done
the store.
Exactly. It's no longer that pukey yellow color. It's that nice Nintendo gray color right here. And it worked pretty simply. And all it does
man.
is, again, you take that product, you put it on the back of it or wherever you want to change the color, set it out in the sun, bring it inside, wash it in a bowl of water or something like that, and then boom, you have restored the gray color right back into your Super Nintendo controller or your system. And I'm going to take a towel here and kind of wipe it off and dry it all off, because we're not done yet. And you want to do this well. You want to wipe it off and dry it off well, because when you go and put it back together, you don't want
that
any of that
moisture.
stuff in there,
Yeah.
right? Like, and that can be a huge problem, right?
Mess
You
with
don't
your
want
circuit board.
That's exactly right. You don't want any of that stuff in there. So you want to really clean it out good. You want to get that paper towel or whatever you might be using right in there to make sure that everything's all good to go, and that it all is cleaned off and all dried up. I'm going to wipe the back of it here, even the little screw holes. You want to get any water out of there, and then I kind of sometimes will just take it and there you go. Okay, and now you got a
at
nice
that.
gray backing of your controller.
Beautiful.
Right? In fact, it's actually even probably, I'm going to say this. It's a little more gray than your Game Boy, actually.
You aged it.
There we go. Like, I mean, that's great. So now here we go. Okay, so the next thing I did is now that we have your controller back to the color, now we want to put it back together.
Here we go.
Your controller was in terrible shape.
Yep.
I mean, it was awful.
To be fair, just so everyone knows at home, it was a controller that came with a Nintendo.
There you go.
That we bought off of
Yeah.
our very good friend Brad, who is married to Brooksy.
Right.
And he gave us a great deal on it.
Oh, okay.
And so it was like a
Right.
old, and that's why it was so gross for
came
me. It
that
was
way.
someone else's
Yeah.
gunk in there. It's like,
Right.
ugh.
Well, what we're gonna do is I kind of cleaned all this off, okay, and I got a bunch of that gunk out of there,
Yeah.
so it looks and feels a lot better than it did before. But we also noticed that the buttons, which use a little plastic pad or a rubber pad here, and what you do is when you're pressing a button, this rubber pad, it actually goes down and
Pushes through.
pushes through and hits the circuit board that's on the controller. It was broken. Okay, it was straight up broken. So what I did is I found a different old controller.
We're
We can
replacing
take parts,
Yes.
right? And I managed to find a different pad and I replaced that. Okay. So what we're gonna do is, and here we have your buttons, right? We have your buttons. Okay. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take it and basically put your controller back together. Now I just want to double check one thing, and that is I'm missing one of the buttons here. I know I brought both of them. And where did they go?
Oh.
Did it fall off?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. It fell off.
Oh, I'm out of breath now.
All right. So when you're exchanging parts from a controller, just
This is an extra free lesson right here.
there you go. When you're exchanging parts from a controller
On the go.
Hold on a second. These screws are easy to take out, so they're not too bad. And just hang on one second here. They're just your basic. I forget. It's a plus sign. Robertson. Is that what it is?
Phillips.
Phillips. Okay, you got it.
The square is the Robertson.
The square is the right. What's the? Oh, and the flathead. is
Flathead, just a
flathead
flathead.
is just
yeah.
flathead.
That's the
Okay.
one.
All right. So
You betcha.
these are not that hard to. I'm just gonna take out these screws quickly. And this is how you take apart a Nintendo controller. And this will go back together in no time. When,
Oh, yeah, I
whenever
don't
you
even care
wanna
about
get
that
it-
one.
when you,
All I care about is finishing the operation on the
There we
original
go, there we
controller.
go.
We're going to do a little
there we go. There
button transplant here.
We go. Oh, this one's really rough inside the edge.
Yeah,
too.
I imagine it would be about
so
as
we
bad as the other one.
We can take one of the buttons out
There you
here.
go. Let's get that bad boy.
Doesn't matter really which one.
This is what we say when
There we
we're
go.
farming for parts.
There we go. Well, that's it. And that's it. It's like auto parts. You got to
That's it.
find them, right?
Yeah.
You have to restore
You
your
can
controllers.
Just toss that one aside. I'll
Okay.
put it back together later.
Okay.
Don't
so
worry about that.
so
Take
whoops.
it out of your hands there.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
put
just
these
pack
screws
it all
back
in.
in there so that we don't want to
Thank you,
lose
doctor.
those.
Thank you very much.
There you go. There's one more.
There we are.
Okay.
And this bad boy.
So there we
Thank you.
go.
And back to the operation.
So the controller that we're fixing, we're going to put it all back together. But one thing we want to do is we want to try, if we can, we want to clean off this circuit board.
Ah, yes.
Okay.
Here we go.
So this is when you get your trusty isopropyl. Okay.
See, that's
And you
good
just-
stuff. I need a
and you
bottle
just-
of that is
you
what I
just
need.
spray it on like a toothbrush or something.
I need it for the
Really all
Nintendo
you
over
need.
there.
What's that?
I need it for the Nintendo to spray on
There
some
you
games.
go. There you go. There you go. And you just
It's getting greasy.
all you got to do is you just clean it.
Gentle, nice.
Just
clean.
a nice gentle cleaning. You want to clean it all off. Okay, that's all you got to do. And then if you want, you can use a little towel and kind of dry it off here,
Beautiful.
right? And you got a nice little clean circuit board, right?
Just how we like.
There you go, just how you like it. Now we've made your Nintendo gray again. We've got your circuit board clean, and now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the buttons back in, basically put it back together. So you got your D-pad right here. You just put that in there like that. Boom shakalaka. Okay.
NBA Jam.
Then you got your buttons that you put back in, so that's not hard to do right there. Boom shakalaka. And then you have your start button. Now I try to clean these rubber pads a little bit too if you can, right? It doesn't hurt, okay? Because you want to, again, gunk gets in there and things
Ugh.
like that.
Yeah, it was gross.
Right? So we'll put that in there. And this is gonna look and feel like almost like a brand new controller when you're all done.
Yep.
Okay.
Just like that N64 one you did.
That's
man. You
right.
Saved its life.
And it's still working great.
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And that joystick moves nice and smooth.
Again, very upset that I keep losing and I can't blame the controller anymore.
That's
you
exactly
for that.
right.
Yes.
There you go. And then we'll put this pad back in here. That's your A-B button pad there. That goes back in there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take your circuit board and we'll put it back together. Whoops. I got to make sure I have this right. I think it goes this way. There we go. Boom. Just like that. Okay. And then this thing here, the wire, it kind of only goes in one way. You kind of just
you gotta twist it around the pegs.
twist it around the pegs there.
And then she just
There you
locks in.
go. And then voila. After that, you put your back on. And make sure you got to line it all up.
Look at that.
Okay. And that will feel a lot better.
Oh.
And then what we'll do is we'll simply grab our screws, and one by one we're going to put them back in there, and
Screw 'em in.
basically screw it back together.
Yeah.
I actually had to fix some of your screw holes in this one.
Of course.
It was so
Gunked?
it was that, and they had actually, as I was taking the screws out, the screw holes itself had started to come apart. So I use a little crazy glue to put them back together. Yeah, you know what? I've
Real
learned
Frankenstein's
I've
monster
learned
here.
I've learned to be resourceful.
That's it.
Well, when you want to game and you want to do old gaming, you got to learn these little things, right?
And we
So
want
here
to
we
teach
go.
the people
So I'm
the
just
importance of this.
Well, that's exactly
That's it.
right. Exactly right. Okay, now, whoops. Sorry, just one of these is not cooperating with me very much here. Come on.
They're really small screws.
Well, and
It's like you're working on a pair of glasses.
It's the magnet because it's a magnetic screwdriver.
Yeah.
And sometimes magnetic screwdrivers are usually pretty good, except sometimes they can cause you a little
Get
bit
a
of
little bit
trouble.
tricky.
Okay, so that's in there like that, and then and then this one goes in there, and I'll there we go.
Look at that.
There we go.
Magnets.
So, and the nice thing about this is it also, if you can restore the color, you can also, it kind of ups the value a little bit of your,
because it looks new.
of your
again,
stick,
right?
because it looks newer,
Yeah.
right? And that's really, really key as well. I got a couple of more screws in there. Just hang on one second.
I got some extra here if you want.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I still got the, I like to use the original ones if I can, because those ones are, they're
already established.
They're already in there, right?
Yeah, we know they work.
So we know that they work.
This one's going to be all for parts now, this controller. So this is good.
So this one should work just fine. Sometimes you really got to twist the. There we go. Okay, you got to push hard down them sometimes. Well, because they're old, right?
Yeah, I get it.
But that's just how it works, right?
It's
That's just
funny
kinda...
to me because you spend your whole life using these controllers. Never once do you
And that's
open
right.
them up or see
That's
anything.
that's
so
right.
it's like
That's exactly
all
right.
this stuff is new.
That's exactly right. Okay, so now I got one more screw that I want to. Should try to get in there if I can.
There we go. Beautiful. Again, it looks way cooler with the gloves. Just so
It
you know.
does.
Yeah, you look badass.
It does. So there you go. So now you have a controller and feel that.
Okay,
Feel
switch that camera back for us, LB. Pretty please.
And it
There
just
it is.
feels like a lot better.
It pops.
It pops, exactly.
bounce back.
And your controller is now
Amazing.
that nice gray color again that you would get from Nintendo. So that's one iteration of that, and it didn't take much. You can buy it's a product that you can buy at like a beauty supply place or anything like that, and so a few other things that you mostly have at home, a toothbrush and that, some rubber gloves, and you can restore your Nintendo controllers, restore your system, and now you'll be able to plug this controller back in, and you'll be able to play your NES tennis, golf, or whatever you want
Yes,
with
sir.
it, you'll be able to play it tonight.
Very excited.
Awesome. I love it. I love it.
Thank
I
you
love it. I
so
love
much.
it.
I'll give you a full report on how it operates.
Well, the Nintendo
be good.
64 one's still good,
Yep.
and one day we can do a gaming console, we can do a Super Nintendo or a Sega or
Get
a
that.
or a
What do you say,
or a
make it gray
regular
again?
Nintendo.
Make them gray again.
Make your Nintendo controllers gray again.
it.
That's the kind. We should get a little hats like
Yeah,
that.
I'm ready.
I'm all about the market.
I'm so ready. Do we want to touch on local sports, or are
Of
we
course,
still? Okay.
of course.
Talk
That's
to
what
me.
we're here for. We're here
Talk
for
to me.
local stuff. And
right.
so Saskatoon Blades, they lost in the 4-0 in the series. Look, I know people are going to say, well, they got swept, but this was a team that was not even really supposed to make the playoffs. And they got there, right? I
right.
mean, there's a lot of people that felt the Blades were going to have a tough season after having to rebuild. They got to the playoffs. So they got some pieces there.
Yes,
so
sir.
they're not like way down where the Regina Pats are right now. So
Good
yeah.
burn.
So there you go.
Like that.
And then the Saskatchewan Rush
Yes.
have a home playoff game. They clinched a home playoff
Yep.
game. So they are going to be hosting a playoff game. So get ready for the Saskatchewan Rush because they are rolling. They're off to one of their best starts in franchise history.
Yep.
I think they have a legitimate shot at the NLL championship. So that's going to be fun. And then the Saskatchewan Roughriders announced they're going to be back in Saskatoon for training camp.
You hear that, LB?
Through 2027. Hey,
LB's our rider insider
There you go,
around
yeah.
here, so we'll send him to training camp.
Absolutely.
He's
so
gonna be doing some
there
reporting.
you go. There you go. Do it
good.
for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe you could do this from training camp.
We've been talking about it.
Could you do an episode of the Gary Nichols show? You don't have to do the whole week.
we
but could you do
need-
a couple of them?
We're in the
from
middle
training
of
camp?
trying to create
Oh, well, that
a
would be cool.
mobile unit,
Well,
so we
that's
can do
great.
that.
That's great. If you can't, that's fine. Maybe next year. But if
When
you
does
can
it-
at some point,
When does it start?
training camp will be in May. So
May.
it's
That's gonna be.
It's coming up. It might be tight for this season, but
Yeah.
if you can at
That
some
would be
point, maybe
cool.
next year, get out
It's-
there and we could talk about some football video games at Rider Training.
Wow,
maybe we can
there.
get some players on the set to play. Right? We could challenge one of them to like Tecmo Bowl.
Yes, yes, and we'll do it the CFL version
The
that you
CFL
created.
they could be in the
Play
game.
themselves in Tecmo Bowl. Okay.
So riders are going to be having.
We got a bowl.
Riders are going to have. We'll call it the Gary Nickel Bowl. The riders are going to be having training camp.
Awesome.
Here at Saskatoon. So that's nice for the next few years. So lots of cool stuff coming, and that snow will melt, and we'll be back to a Saskatchewan summer that we all love.
I was just gonna say to you, we shouldn't comment on the weather. The last couple times we did, this is what happened. But here we go again. So next week when it snows again, you know who to blame. It is not just me. CTV's Matt Young, who joins us every Thursday, brother. Thank you so much. It's always so
Thank
much
you.
fun. I appreciate all that you do,
Absolutely.
and I look forward to doing it again
Boom.
next week. Yes. CTV's Matt Young. I call him. He's like the human energy drink right there. Every time he comes in, everything just gets amped up. I love it. Thank you to him as per usual. It is now time to check in for a bonus Maggie Cam at the request of my sweet LB in the tooth booth today. Oh, he did it! Ladies and gentlemen,
Award-winning. Nice.
welcome into the award-winning
Look at that.
Maggie Cam. Darling, you did it!
Gold.
Congratulations!
Standard. Love it.
Again, still for our friends over at Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer, the newly minted award-winning Maggie Cam. She doesn't seem as impressed as
No.
we are, hey? She's like just another day in the office.
Yeah, whatever.
God, she's cute. LB, you've done it again, you son of a gun. Absolutely beautiful. This is the Thursday edition of your show. My name is Gary, hanging out with Johnny Factoid. Got LB on the ones and twos, got award-winning Maggie Cam, and you just saw my main man in the screen behind us. You'll see him on the bottom here during these banner rolls. And the reason he's my main man is because he's got live reads, and I love reading live
live
reads.
reads.
Here we go, Johnny. Buckle up. Get pre-approved before you shop. That was a great buckle up. Well done.
you.
The housing market's heating up, and homes are selling fast. If you're serious about buying, getting pre-approved isn't just smart, it's essential. All right, remember that. Mobile Urente with TMG, the mortgage group, will help you know exactly how much you can afford so you can make strong, confident offers. With access to multiple lenders, he'll secure the best rates and terms for you, making the process simple and stress-free. Love stress-free. That's the way to do it. Don't lose out on your dream home. Get pre-approved today. Mobile Urente. Mortgages made simple. Look, there he is right there. Give him a call or text him, 306-370-5804. Now, if you're looking at this right now, if you're hearing this, and you're saying, that's pretty cool. I'd like to do that on the network. It's real easy to do. All you got to do is just send us a little message to this email right here.
Ooh,
You remember the song? You remember the song?
Yes.
We have a theme song
jingle.
for it now. A little jingle. Here we go. Just send us a message to contact@dufferinave.com. That is the email. This is the theme song. I decided to go low on it there.
Ooh,
Not as good.
like it.
I didn't like it as much.
No, you got to take it high again tomorrow or next time.
We're going to definitely do that. I'm definitely going to get rid of this too. You want to yank it from the other side?
Here we go.
But you
I'll
got to.
push
We're going
against
this way.
you.
We're going this
I'll
way.
push against you.
Are we going to squeeze it? Crush our heads? See if we can. No, it's not working. I'll just
Where's
send
the
it
hand?
off. Get in
There
there.
it is.
There it is.
There it is.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
oh.
hard.
Here we go.
1, 2, 3. See you later. Hey.
I got to remember, it's always
That
the
was
backhand.
pretty good. It's really hard. I still haven't figured it out.
I know.
yet.
You're
just-
looking at yourself and you're like,
It's hard, man.
Which side am I going? Where am
We
I
also
going?
have a
What am I doing?
website. Hey, Deneb Finishing. Shout out to
Oh,
Deneb.
yes.
Best in the
Big-
biz, baby.
Big boy.
The man. The
Pipes.
man, not just the man. The
Yes.
man who built this amazing toothpick.
Yes.
And this
Lovely
amazing
job.
set. So
Lovely
good at
job.
what they do. Website made by Royal Anders. Super streamlined, super easy to check out. Get in touch with us. Help us help you, all right? As we continue to become the voice of this city. And I mean that literally. People are watching, people are listening. When you are with us, not only are you supported by us, but all the people that enjoy the content that we create. It's a very, very cool setup, and you can be a part of it. Just hit us up. Woo!
Dufferin Ave, baby.
Go get it. Go get him. So when Johnny stops by, he brings a factoid. We get smarter. We learn really cool stuff. And today will be no different, my friend. You ready to get this done?
You betcha, buddy.
All right. Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. This is Johnny Factoid.
Well, today, Gary, let's talk about one of our boys, the great. We love him. The lead singer of The Offspring, Mr. Dexter.
Dexter.
Holland. Yes.
Hell yeah.
Talk about him, not so much just one specific fact, but he is just a man of many layers that I don't think a lot of people, know a lot about him. So
People just look at him as the nerdy guy that
yeah,
sings for
like
Offspring.
they know he's kind of nerdy, but he actually is. There's a reason they call him Dexter. His real name is actually Brian Keith Holland.
Get out of here.
Yes, Gary. And Dexter, he took it on when high school. He got the nickname Dexter because he was valedictorian of his class.
Nerd.
And and he was head of the math program. Like he was a wicked
Super
like
nerd.
his actual IQ, they figure, is I think he took tests. I read somewhere that it's about around the 140 mark. Which to put that in perspective, Einstein was like a 160, 165.
Knocking
And
on Einstein's door.
Elon Musk is like a 120. So Dexter's even
Smarter
smarter
than
than that. And I mean, wicked smart guy, writes great songs,
Yep.
So he got this nickname Dexter in high school. But and he's also so after high school, he thought about going into he was going to go into molecular biology, which he did get into in California State University.
This is elite level nerding
Yeah.
out.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love this.
And but then that was right when the Offspring were kind of gaining traction. This was 1994, and
You
Smash
remember
had
when
just
they
come
came
out,
in?
and it's
Oh.
like, you know what? I'm gonna pursue music for now. We'll put this math stuff and whatever, this PhD on the back burner. So he goes out, pursues his music career, does that, does well.
They're pretty good.
Legendary,
Pretty
pretty
good.
good. Yeah, one of the biggest bands
Ever.
on the planet. And
Ever.
hit song after hit song.
And not just
Album.
in one genre. Like they
No,
came in punk rock and they just transcended.
They're
It's
everybody.
crazy.
My
Yeah.
kids, everybody knows the Offspring and Pretty
Something
Fly
for
for a White
everybody.
Guy. Like, come on, you know, everybody's loving that
That's
kind
it.
of stuff. So yeah, then once he got done music, well, he went back. 2017, went back to school,
course he did.
and he went and got his PhD in molecular biology. So I don't even know what you would do there.
No,
but
that's- yeah.
molecular
Science
your
stuff, I
Science
guess.
stuff. Also, not only Gary, this is what I love about him too. He's also an avid pilot.
Oh,
yeah.
You have a fellow pilot here too, by the way.
Beautiful.
We'll
yeah.
talk about this.
Yeah, no,
This
he's
is good.
he's
I
a
forget
big time
about that.
pilot. He's got his own private jet called
Just
the,
like Bruce Dickinson.
Yep, like Brucey. But he's like, what do you call it? The Anarchy or something? Like it says right on the tail.
Yeah,
It's like the Anarchy something. I can't remember the last part of it.
sweet.
But yeah, he flies that all around, and he actually is in, I think it's the Guinness Book of World Records or some record for being one of the only people. He flew around the world solo in 10 days. And I don't know how many people have done that, if anybody else has really ever done it, but I know he's famous for that too. I remember reading years ago about that. So just all around, just kind of cool guy. He's got his own hot sauce.
Dude.
He's a businessman. You know, he's
so
kind of
easy to
so
love,
many
eh?
layers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
old Dexter.
To think that we went from, like, I remember the first time I hit play on Smash.
Oh, dude.
It's time to relax.
Oh.
You know what that means.
Oh.
Glass of wine, favorite easy chair, and of course, this compact disc playing on your home stereo.
dude, that
so go
album,
on, indulge
so
yourself.
good.
Kick back and just enjoy the melodies. After all, music soothes even the savage beast. And then your life changes forever. You're like, this is
Right
so
into
good.
nitro.
So
good, so
Look at the goosebumps.
Ah,
man.
I
I'm
really
telling
enjoyed
you,
that one.
This is what
Let's
happened.
see what's next.
So good.
Halfway through.
So good.
Oh, dude.
That was a
such
game
good
changer,
album.
man. And
I
we
mean,
say it all the time.
even
Smash
the
and Dookie.
Ignition, like,
Yeah.
remember cruising around the Chevette listening to freaking
Dude, all
Jennifer
the
Lost
time.
the War
Jennifer
or
Lost the War.
Sessions. Oh,
People
man.
forget,
dude,
man.
such a good album
People
too. Dirty
forget.
Magic.
Hey, look, Coach Mazer.
Oh, Coach
Better
Mace, get him
take
on
this one. He
speaker.
knows we're
Hey.
live. You're not on speaker yet, but we are on the air.
Oh,
Oh, are you joining? Can I put you on speaker? All right, here comes Coach
Oh,
Mazer.
here's-
Hold on. I bet
Tidbit.
you this has to do with. Yeah, you can see why my phone sucks. I bet you this will have to do with Offspring.
well.
There we go. You still there?
See what Coach has to say.
I'm right here. I'm just first time caller, long time participator in the on the show there, but I've never called in while someone's live on the air. This is like a call-in. I thought I could do. You know?
Perfect.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Who is this? This is Johnny Factoid you have in? Is that his name?
That's him.
Okay. Did he used to run around the schoolyards at Hugh Cairns, and he used to go by the name Johnny Schnorr?
No.
We don't use
Eh?
real names here, Coach. You know that.
All right, sorry about that. I do have a little fun story, and then I'm going to leave. That I was once getting ready for baseball, and I walked out my back door onto the deck, and all I heard was, "When I go driving, I stay in my lane." And I was like, "Who is screaming at the top of his lungs?" And it was probably this little Johnny kid or whatever. I recognized his voice, but that's all. Singing in the park the year that album came out.
Bro, love you and appreciate you so much. Thank you for being a great member of this family.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
My Coach. Yes, I know. He's brought that up in hockey a few times. Man, I remember Hugh Cairns rink. All you did was sing Smash like all
That's
day,
it.
front to back.
Man, and that's what I was going to get into is like even before they got big, they were so good.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
everyone realized they were so good. Then they made money. Then
Yeah.
they sold out. Which
Yeah.
again, go get it. Go get your bag. You gave us what we
Yeah.
wanted. Us being the punk rockers, we got what
Oh
we,
yeah,
you go get it.
Brought the punk to
And
the
they just-
people,
and
you
then
know,
they
and it
just kept
opened
it
a
going.
gateway for
Yeah,
so many other bands.
so
Them,
cool.
Rancid, you know, like there was that
All of
group
it.
that just,
All of it. It
you
was
know,
Dookie and it was
yeah,
Smash.
exactly.
Fat
And then it
Mike
was
said-
94, and it was
That's it.
on like Donkey Kong.
Fat
you
Mike
know?
said until those two albums came out, you couldn't make money.
Yeah, as
putting
a
out punk rock.
Yeah, yeah. You just toured
Changed the
in a
game.
van and just
That was it.
You know,
Changed
played
the whole game.
little shows.
All thanks to Dexter, not his real name. I was hoping you were going to say they named him Dexter after Dexter's Laboratory, the cartoon.
What?
You ever see that
No,
cartoon?
yes, yeah,
Very
no,
good cartoon.
But that was, I think, after he would have been born. Hey.
Yeah. No, it definitely didn't
No,
add
but
up.
he's
The math
just
wasn't
Dexter,
there.
Point Dexter, I'm
Point
assuming,
Dexter, yeah.
right?
Well,
'Cause
again, you're the
smart
smartest guy in
Yeah,
frickin'
you're a math whiz. You're like national champion. I don't know. They were like a
Molecular
math class that toured, you know,
Masters, yeah.
masters of
Ridiculous.
a bunch of stuff, you know.
That's why we call him Johnny Factoid.
Dexter.
We always learn. This is the Thursday edition of your show, taking your calls on the air. I
Yes,
love
thanks,
that. Well
Coach.
done. Well done with Coach. We do want to call up our final member of the team if he is ready, because we got a couple more things I want to get into. And it's all going to start with one of his expertise. You know him as the co-host of The Viewing Room. New episode every Tuesday. You know him as the face that built the place. Ladies and gentlemen, it is LB. Yeah, buddy.
I hope this mic is plugged in properly.
You know what? I can check.
Can we hear? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I
Check,
guess
check.
you can.
I'll get it. Let's
Assuming
see.
it's set up
thing
correctly
on?
on the board for that.
Okay, pilots to pilot. I want to get
Yes.
into this a little bit because LB is currently like just
Taking-
thriving. He's like next level. Where did you take your flying?
I did some at Millennium and then some at Mitchelson. I did both.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm a Millennium.
Millennium?
Yeah, I did a discovery flight with both.
Yeah.
And I ended up going with Millennium.
nice.
Yeah.
You're on the air.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Is
So, I want to get into this. Have you heard that story about Dexter, unmanned or only one man around the world, 10 days?
I haven't heard
Yeah.
that. No.
Pretty neat, eh?
Yeah.
Like, to do
Yeah,
that.
I mean, and especially
How
in a
hard would that
private
be?
jet.
Well,
Well, in a
yeah.
private jet, it wouldn't be as hard as like the ones who do it in like a small, like a, Cessna or something like that.
I would assume he did it in the jet. 'cause
Yeah,
10
I
days.
assume
In
so.
a,
10 days in a
There's no
Cessna would
way.
be basically impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like just speed-wise, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
just speed and even just time and like
Yeah.
the time required to plan, especially when you get to the Atlantic crossing,
Yeah.
like the
Yeah,
amount of
you
time
gotta-
and you got to
no
have
stop.
the
Perfect
perfect
weather.
right?
Perfect.
Pilot talk.
Yeah.
I knew you guys would
Perfect
hit it off on
conditions, headwinds, tail, like
And
yeah, it'd
icing
have to be
too, and
perfect.
all that kind of
yeah,
stuff,
Man,
so.
Exactly.
When's the last time you went out flying?
Like a week and a half ago.
Beautiful. So you're still right in.
Oh yeah.
Because this guy's going like a couple times a week.
Yeah, I'm not flying as much right now because I'm working on my written for my commercial.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
it's slower, but
Going to the commercial. So you got your private all done.
I have my
then?
private working on commercial now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Night rating, all
Yeah,
that.
I have my night rating
Twin engine?
almost done. I had a hard time getting it done in the fall because their instructor's changing and everything.
Oh, yeah.
So I've just got to get a couple more solo hours and then I've got it completely done. But I've got all the ground and everything. So
So is it under new ownership?
yes,
Like Sid?
yes.
Was it Sid?
It
What's
was
the old fella?
K and
KN's. Oh,
what's his name?
It's like not Sid, but it's right there on the tip of my tongue.
I wish I could help, boys.
Not Saul. Ah, jeez.
he actually passed away a couple months ago.
Oh, really? That's too bad. He was awesome old flight
Cecil.
instructor.
That's-
Cecil. Yes.
Cecil. K and Cecil
Old,
Sorensen.
old
yeah.
fighter pilot back in the
Yeah,
day. And
no,
yeah, he
they
was
were
full of pilot
they
humor.
were both
Cool
really cool.
guy.
I didn't know Cecil very well because he was pretty much stepped
Yeah,
back by the time I
came
was
in.
going. But I really liked Kay. She was awesome.
Yeah, his wife's a nice lady. So is it Dare? Help me out. Did Darren, or is there still a Daryl teaching there?
Not that I'm aware of.
That's the guy. When I went up, I always talk. Whenever flying
you
comes up, I
went-
always say
yeah,
one
you
time
went on a
I got
discovery
to
flight
go
with
up.
them.
We're
and
gonna
down.
change it. I'm gonna take you up one
Yeah,
of these
I'm
days.
very excited.
I think you went with a Ben or something. I remember. Because
maybe
that
it
was
was.
right around the time I was still flying with them, like all
Yeah,
the
and you
time
knew
doing
the
my
guys,
training, and
yeah.
I knew them, and you're
It was
like,
very
I went on
cool.
a flight, you know.
Yeah.
He wouldn't let me land.
Well, most
barely
people
got
don't
us-
land on their first
I
line.
barely got us up. Like
Yeah.
I was telling the story before about how I did. That's when I realized you steer with the feet on the ground
Yeah,
and not
yeah,
this
yes,
thing.
yes.
So he goes, "All right, we're going up," and he hits the speed, and we start going. And then I start hitting one pedal and the other, and overcompensating. And I literally, if someone was watching, like from the airport, they would have lost it. Like, like this, and then up like this. And I looked at him. He's like, "No, you're doing that." I was like, that's easy. Whoever said flying was hard.
I was just about to tuck and roll.
Yeah,
hey?
like I was scared. I was
Honestly,
like, parachutes.
the basics of flying isn't that hard. Like the actual mechanics of like
Yeah,
of controlling the airplane isn't really that hard. It's all the knowledge and stuff that goes around with learning the
Yeah.
systems, learning
That's why
the
I'll never be a
procedures, and all
pilot.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah, all the
don't got the
rules, the
brain.
air
Yeah.
law, like you
Yeah.
know.
Oh,
every
man.
time a plane flies over this building, he always knows right away what kind and
Perfect.
where it's going.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
perfect.
These
Yeah.
pilots, man.
The app.
Extra
I
Hey,
just
man.
check flight radar
Yeah,
or whatever,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
He'll definitely tell like the exact type of it. He doesn't have to check anything. He just listens like, "Oh yeah, that's this one. That's a twin.
Yeah.
This. Oh, that's a jet. Oh, this one's double prop."
I can generally get pretty close, especially if I see it. But.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, once you know, like, hey, like,
And it's pretty limited what flies into Saskatoon
Yes,
as well.
yes,
Like,
it's always the
Yeah.
Piper, the Cessna,
Yeah,
Beechcraft, or the bigger jets.
Plane Talk with boys
Yeah.
on the Thursday edition. Network Ryan did do some program directing as we had an off-air conversation, and I think we can turn this into an extra factoid for you to take home. As we had a conversation about Axl Rose and Kurt Cobain, and we're all music lovers. We love music. We know Guns N' Roses. We know Nirvana. About 5 days ago, Axl Rose came out and did a big interview and talked about his relationship with Kurt Cobain. And every single person that knew anything about those bands, Nirvana and Guns N' Roses, knew that they were at odds. They were always fighting. They almost came to blows at award shows
yeah,
and
92,
other places.
MTV, I think it was.
All of these things, and there's this big, long track record of them absolutely hating each other. Axl Rose has come out and explained the reasoning for that hatred that we all thought was hatred. As he said, it all started when he saw Kurt Cobain going down the same road that he had just went down, as far as mental health, as far as drug abuse, as far as trying to cope with being a rock star.
Rockstar fame, yeah.
So Axl he basically said, I reached out to him to try to help him. He tried to set up numerous interventions with him. And one of like the big sort of starts to the big sort of fight was when Axl was asked about Kurt Cobain and his wife, and he called them both a bunch of crackheads, and he said another bunch of really bad stuff, like, well, they're just druggies and this and that. Turns out that sort of blow that started the whole thing came out of love, if you can believe that. Because Axl tells the story that he had found out that day that Kurt had just OD'd again. So that was him lashing out. He's like, I'm trying to help this guy.
Yeah.
And he's out here being a junkie. And so he just let his emotions get the best of him. And then everyone took that as, oh, this is going to be one of your big rock star wars.
Axl moments.
And it turns out that Axl was just trying to help him. And this just blew everyone's mind to the point where they got down the line and Axl basically, and it's just so weird to me because it's changing all the history that we thought was just fact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like Axl came out and said, we were friends and I wanted to save my friend. And I knew that I could do it because I'd just gone through it. But Kurt, being Kurt, doing what he did, sort of just made it so they could never come together. And then Duff, guitarist.
Duff and beating up Chris.
Man, they're all going after
fighting.
it. Duff was the last guy to see Kurt. They were randomly seated together on
an airplane coming home from.
And Duff says to this day,
Seattle.
it still eats him alive. That he didn't ask Kurt to just come and hang out at his place. He said, I looked at him and I thought to myself, man, this guy needs some help. I should ask him to come over. Didn't ask him. 3 days later, dead.
Because I know that was right when Kurt jumped the wall at some Betty Ford clinic and literally jumped on a plane.
Crazy,
and I think he bought a shotgun that, I don't know the story, but it was like all days leading up to the end of it, right? So.
And just to hear that Axl didn't hate him at all. He wanted to save him. It takes the whole dynamic of that decades-long rivalry and just flips it on its side. And it blows my mind. Like Axl, and then he went deeper, and he talked about how, he had this sort of reputation for being the world's biggest asshole. He was no-showing gigs. He was, being an asshole to all these people. When in reality, he said those gigs that he no-showed, everyone thought, oh, he's just out drinking or doing whatever it was. No, he was in his hotel room trying not to kill himself. He could not stand the idea of facing a crowd that day. So he no-shows an event. Everyone rips on him for being all
thinking
this elitist, above everyone Axl, when in reality, a dude's just battling his demons.
Like a really bad day.
Yeah.
And that's...
Like, I think I like Axl Rose now. I think he flipped me. And I was a Kurt guy since day one.
Yeah, no, I mean, I always liked Axl. One of my favorite bands was
I knew
Guns
you
N'
would be.
Roses.
Yeah,
I had to, but
I
also did hear about the times where like he would be, and he was kind of like I remember there was a show with him and James Hetfield. They were on stage together back in the '80s with I can't remember who else was all there, but they were doing I think it's Whiplash. The song. And Whiplash. Axl's all like, I'm a lumberjack. I'm to James Hetfield, and James is just like looking at it like, I'm gonna slap you. Like literally.
When you look at
really?
Personality-wise,
88 Axl at the at his
peak
of Axl Rose. Like
and Hetfield.
I'm the bomb.
You're a Guns N' Roses guy. You ever get Nirvana at all?
I mean, I listen to their songs, but I'm not like huge.
Not diehard. Do you know anything about Kurt Cobain at all?
I mean, I know basics, you know,
but I just as a younger generation.
Yeah, no, I know the basics.
Yeah. So he comes in and he changes the game. And his whole thing, and actually had another really good line. It was such a good interview. Another really good line where he talks about Kurt Cobain, his biggest beef with Guns N' Roses was Guns N' Roses turned into everything that they hated. Guns N' Roses came in saying, hey, we're the dirty street kids. We're doing this metal our way. We're changing the game. And all of a sudden, once they get to the top, they just turn into all the other guys that are at the top. And Cobain hated that. And he told the story about how Kurt at an awards show walked by a grand piano. And he thought it was Axl's grand piano, so he spit all over it. So
I heard
take
about
that,
this
and
one.
It turns out, this is your extra Johnny factor for the day. It turns out it was Elton John's piano. So Kurt Cobain looks at this big giant grand piano and says, this is exactly what I hate. Axl wants to be so grand and so big. It's just so much unnecessariness when it turns out It was the most necessariness ever because it's for Elton frickin' John.
Yeah.
And Axel said, isn't that the most poetic thing to see from Kurt? Him throwing ammo at an idea that he has and having it miss, and it goes to the wrong person. And that was all these little things just hit home. I thought it was so cool, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's another factoid. Apparently, Axel not as bad as we all thought he was.
Well, Kurt was kind of a different cat too. Like I know if he didn't like your band, he didn't like it. But if you didn't like his band, it was kind of like he was kind of
every rock star
kind of
reacts
tight
in
on
different
that,
ways.
So
The thing I always wonder with those young guys when they die young like that is, like, what would they have achieved if they had lived longer, right?
Don't
Like,
think
especially those
about it.
big rock stars, like, your Kurt Cobain, Stevie
even
Ray Vaughan,
think
all
of-
those
oh.
guys that died young. Like, can you imagine what they would have if they achieved that Axel level of success for that long,
All the music, like, could you picture Jimi Hendrix
still
with like a sixth or seventh album, like where that would even go?
Oh yeah.
Because when they make it to
Eric
that top,
Clapton or
when they make it to the point where they can just explore what they want to do and not
That's
just
what I'm talking
making money,
about.
right?
That's what it is. Once you've achieved your goal, now you can do it for you.
Yeah.
And so I could see a guy like Jimmy going all over the place.
Oh, he would.
range
Oh,
guys.
he would never
Any
put the
genre.
same album
Yeah.
out twice, right?
It'd be amazing.
He'd never do that, and that's what he was doing. Like at the end with Band of Gypsies,
Yeah.
like he literally was going back to
He's a Jimmy
the
expert,
old
by the way.
blues, and got the old Billy Cox and.
There's a
Buddy
reason we call him Johnny
and,
Hendrix.
like all the guys that his band from before, his army buddies, Bill Cox, and stuff like that. So
That's a great
or
point,
like Kurt
LB.
Cobain too. Like he never wanted to make the same records. Like, look
And he was really good at completing that goal. Okay, while he was still around. Like if you look at each album, they all have such a different vibe.
Well,
I almost said it, different feeling to them.
yeah,
See, it's
they're
a
all-
good word
they're all-
It
sometimes.
is. I know.
It
There's
is a
place,
good
there's
word
a place for it. I
sometimes,
know,
yeah.
but I'm already on record saying how much I hate it, so I can't use it. There's a time and a place, just like everything else.
That's right.
Thursday edition of your show, hanging out with Johnny Factoid, along with the great LB, talking about some music stuff. I also want to talk about the chase.
Oh yes.
Why are you looking at me like that? You think I was going to do something funny?
Yeah.
Not the chase?
No,
No, interesting. Where do you think I was going to go?
no, I wasn't sure.
Oh, that's why he was laughing. I see.
Yeah.
Alexander Ovechkin.
Yes.
If you grew up,
Oh, yes.
if you grew up as a hockey fan, you loved Wayne Gretzky. The reason Wayne Gretzky is and always will be the greatest athlete of all time, it's very simple. The number is 61. When you say, show me one other athlete on the face of this earth that has 61 records that will never be broken, that person will be a better athlete than Wayne Gretzky. Since he owns them all, he's the best athlete of all time. Not to mention, he once, they had these old competitions where they put guys in all different sports and make them do events. They did a 40-yard dash, and he was doing it with like pro sprinters, and Gretzky outran all of it. It was so funny. Like it's all like it's like this little skinny white dude and all these like big, huge dudes that run. And Gretzky says, "See you later." Like it's so funny to see. The guy is so talented. 61 records. That's how you end any argument about best athlete of all time. We are 2 goals away from having to say 60 records.
Yes.
And that hurts me because I've said 61 mic drop everywhere. I go.
Yeah.
I'm getting scared now. And it gets scarier. This is where it gets weird. And I always talk about universal callings and signs and this and that. So Alexander Ovechkin gets set to go tomorrow night against the Chicago Blackhawks. 5 o'clock, puck drop. Here's where we stand. Ovi, 39 years old. 39. Also
He's only
has
39.
Yeah.
And he has 39 goals.
The guy looks like he's like 50.
Yeah, well, he parties hard.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy.
He likes to party. So 39 years old, 39 goals in 59 games this year. Okay? He now has 892 goals in 1,485 games. Wayne Gretzky's record, 894 goals in 1,487 games. 2 games, 2 goals.
I don't know. That's crazy.
You said
It's
it
almost
best.
like it's like planned.
Yeah, that's what
it's
I
like,
mean,
You
right?
know, like it's
I
like
wonder
too
how much
good,
the game has changed. Like that's the one thing with those kinds of records, right? Is like, and I don't know because I never watched hockey back then, obviously. But like, has the game changed? Like, are they higher scoring games now than they used to be, or are they higher scoring back then? Or
Dude, the 80s are the
big
glory days,
time.
man. Like an
Yeah,
average
5.
game back then was like 7-6, 6-5.
Yeah.
Average game now like 3-2. You know, a high scoring game would be a total of around 5.
Yeah.
That's usually where the line is now. Back then it'd be like way more.
because I mean that plays into the record as well
Absolutely.
too, right? Like,
and
is the,
amount of teams.
yeah,
That also plays into it, and just the equipment itself. Like there's so
for
many
sure.
things, so it's so hard to
much
compare.
bigger, faster.
Even the stick
Players
technology
are better.
is crazy
That's
too,
Stick
you know?
technology.
That's the craziest part.
I mean, it's helped goalies out too. Goalies are
True.
better, but
Bigger.
I know it's funny you should say like the '80s stats. Though I was looking at Patty Waugh. I was going through some old cards the other day,
So
and I was
good.
looking at the old Patty Waugh and Curtis Joseph rookie card, I had,
Love
and
those
it was
guys.
like, I think they're like the year they won the cup. There was against Calgary was '88 or something. Montreal there,
89, yeah.
'89. Patrick Waugh, I think his like goals against average was like 2.9, and like he's the best. The
That's
guy
like a
to brought it
Vezina
home,
winner,
and
yeah.
it's like 2.9. That's crazy. That would
Yeah.
be like 0.9. You know, like
Nowadays, you got
barely
guys
get a
posting
goal,
like
right?
1.1.
Yeah, exactly,
No,
right.
that's very
so
good.
yeah, it's
You said it best though when you said, "Man, imagine if he scores 3
Yeah.
tomorrow."
yeah
Like if he does,
Just
if
to
he
do
beats
that.
the record in one game less,
with one. Yeah,
all of my arguments have to change. It still doesn't change the overall fact
Yes,
that
I mean,
60
to have
records
60
is really good.
records, like-
And we said it before, wasn't a goal scorer.
no,
You can take away every single goal Wayne Gretzky ever scored, and he'd still lead.
still, yeah,
Not just lead, dominate total points in the NHL. Those are the records that will never get touched.
Mm-hmm.
But this one was always the one that they said it could be, as long as the guy could stay healthy enough.
Yeah, could
because
be the one.
Gretzky wasn't a goal scorer. He was a setup guy. He just randomly would go out and score goals if he wanted to, but he
Like
way
5
much
a
rather
game.
set him up. Well, yeah, well that's the thing, right? Like with Gretzky, that's what made him so good. Is if you took away his passing lanes, which was his bread and butter, he'd say,
Yeah.
"Fine, I guess I'll go score if I
Yeah.
have to."
Yeah. Yeah.
But most of the time, even if you are in his passing lanes, he'll find your stick.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason they call the back of the net Gretzky's office.
yes,
Like this guy,
Yep. Set up shop.
we will
Yep.
never see another human being dominate a sport like Wayne Gretzky did.
No, I mean 60. Like even like look at a guy like what Michael Jordan. Like how many records has he got? Like, does he have any?
Doesn't have 60.
Like not scoring anymore. He never really had scoring
No,
anyway.
his
Kareem and all them
big
had it.
record
but-
is the 3 back-to-back-to-back
Yeah.
back-to-back-to-back.
Yeah.
Well, the 6
That's his
titles.
thing.
It's his
That's
big
it.
one,
He
right?
goes
Kobe
like
wanted
this.
6. He got what 5?
And
You
not
know,
only
everybody
that,
wanted 6.
you know
but-
what? Jordan would be right up there just
Oh,
because
he
if
is.
he
Just-
wanted to keep playing, he could have
he could. I think he
destroyed. But
just
he wanted
dominate,
he
right?
wanted to go and try another sport. That's
Yeah.
how good he was.
Yeah.
And people shit all over his baseball career. If
And
you
he
look
actually
at his
didn't do
numbers,
that
it
bad,
wasn't that
okay?
bad.
Didn't he make it to the MLB?
Yeah.
It was like
he
what?
got called up
Right-
for a couple games.
Yeah, a couple games.
Yeah.
But still,
He was
right
steady
there,
on the farm
that
team.
still means he's better than most
Thank
people,
you.
right?
Yeah,
Like
that's what I'm
exactly,
saying.
right?
The big joke was that he couldn't hit a curveball, so everyone just started throwing
Oh,
curveballs.
yeah.
But eventually, he started hitting curveballs too. He was sucking dingers off of fastballs, like just to be able to transcend. Those are true athletes, and I
Yeah,
thought that was so
yeah.
good. But if you put MJ a full career,
Oh, yeah.
it's not even close. And that's why when we talk about stupid LeBron, you guys LeBron fans at all? I used to be. I loved it. I loved LeBron.
Oh, I
thought
like
he was the
LeBron.
greatest. He has
You
all the
know,
numbers, all this and that. The last couple of years, man, I got
I'm just
no
not
time
really
for
a
LeBron.
basketball guy in general. I don't enjoy watching basketball. The big thing for me with basketball is that it feels like the scoring doesn't mean anything. When your scores are 120
It's pretty
to like
wild.
120,
Yeah.
it's like it's literally scoring doesn't mean anything, you know?
Yeah. No, I hear you. It's different. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But the whole, like when you look at basketball, and what was I saying? Where did I go now?
You're
I got
talking
thrown
about
off.
LeBron.
Yeah.
Yes,
compared
thank you,
to, like,
LeBron
the
James.
old
You look at
days.
LeBron coming in. I was like, he broke all the scoring records. He's the best. That's it. And then you start to break it down, and you look. Oh yeah, he broke Jordan's scoring record, but it took him like 700 more games to do.
Yeah.
And then you look at the breakdown of all of his stats, and all he really did was just stay healthy.
Stay healthy,
Yeah.
play every
That's
season
it.
for 20 years.
Yeah.
Okay?
And then you find out he's a huge piece of poop, like a huge asshole. He whines all the time about every single thing, and he thinks he's above everyone. And then you put all that together, and it makes me say, LeBron, guess what? You ain't the best. You ain't even the best to frickin' play today.
Yeah.
Like, you suck. And
Yeah.
I'm totally up. I was
Especially
all
with
on
the
him. all up.
Doncic era.
That's it, man.
Yes.
And
Yes.
like there's numerous guys. You got Luca, and
Joke.
man, yeah, Joker. You got
Yeah,
so
there's
many
some
guys.
good guys out there right now.
Even on yeah.
Wiggins, Williams.
Like I imagine LeBron is probably pretty pissed off that Luca's there now just because he's stealing all the
Stealing
spotlight.
all the
Like
thunder.
LeBron is the most look at me guy. And all of his stats are so padded. And it took me a while to realize that, but now that I know, like it's not even a discussion. LeBron James, I wouldn't even say better than I would put him like out of the top 10. Give me the top 10 best players in the NBA. I wouldn't put LeBron in there just because
What is your top 10 then? I'm just curious who you
NBA?
Yeah.
Well, I love Jordan.
Oh, yeah.
See, now I was a child of the 90s growing up with, what do we have? WGN.
Jordan.
We had WGN on the TV, so we got to watch every single Bulls game.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
When he come out, like, from North Carolina. And they had
Yeah.
the Dragon Steamboat song playing for their intros. So cool. So it would have been, I was a huge Jordan guy, huge Scottie Pippen guy, B.J. Armstrong, Steve Kerr, like all those old guys, like
All the
Dennis
Bulls,
Rodman, Luke Longley.
Rodman.
But as far as like
Mr.
best
Rebounder.
ever go, you got, like looking back, you got Dr. J, you got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, you got Bill Russell, then you go like
Larry
Oscar
Bird,
Robertson, Larry Bird,
Magic
Magic Johnson. Like
Yeah.
that's probably 10 right there.
Yeah.
That would all destroy LeBron. You give those guys the same amount of games you played LeBron,
Kobe
guaranteed
Bryant.
you're garbage.
I mean,
Kobe.
Kobe was kind of the
Shaq.
next,
There's so
era.
many. So to LeBron, stop being a dink. We don't need it. Realize you're not the best. In fact, you're probably the world's biggest piece of poop. Hopefully he never sees this because he would absolutely destroy me with one punch. But I will say, I stand by my word. Stop saying you're the best, man, because you ain't. You ain't.
Yeah.
Well, anybody who feels the need to declare themselves the best in anything,
Well,
right?
thank
You don't give yourself that credit. Somebody else gives it to you.
And he's the world's greatest whatever this is, deflecting. Any criticism you put on him, deflect. Nothing's
Did
ever
his
his
son make
fault.
it? Because
Yeah,
he got,
Ronnie plays on that team.
but he
because
is
of
still
him.
active.
Yeah.
Like I know there's a big hullabaloo when he
He
made
comes
it.
up and down.
Yeah,
Okay.
So he goes down to the G League and comes up and down.
Yeah.
Like he did have like 40 some points in the G League. So like there is talent there.
Yeah.
But he
Yeah.
wasn't ready. But Braun wanted to play with his kid, and I get
Yeah,
all
I
that.
bring him up to get the
But-
couple games with his boy. Well,
Yeah.
makes sense. I mean,
Like he's
I
just,
I can't blame him for that one.
no, you want to
You know,
play
it's a
with
sweet
your
move.
son,
It's a
right?
sweet
I
move.
mean, yes, okay.
But
it's
don't sit
cool,
here and
but-
tell us that like you're the best person and
Yeah.
you're so nice. Like there's a reason everyone in the league hates him. There's a reason all the reporters hate him, and he thinks he's above the game. He thinks he's so great because he lasted so long. And if you really want to go down the conspiracy rabbit hole, and I'm going to leave this just as it is. There are some people out there that have accused him of being a part of the Illuminati, aka getting that adrenochrome going to stay so young and so strong. Might be something to look into. I don't know. We don't do conspiracies here. That's just something that I heard. I'm
Party
claiming the Norm
P.
Macdonald right
Diddy,
now. I heard it
uh-huh.
from a person. That's not me saying that. That's not me. We're not going
No,
anywhere
we won't
near
go
that.
down there, but that's another
No,
one, right?
Hey, boys, great show today. I got it, LB. I'm going to do a manual. I'm going to put it on cruise control. That's a great song, by the way. Have you guys ever heard Cruise Control by 911 Turbo? Oh,
I don't know.
it's so good. I should see if they'll let us play it one day. It's like the most relaxing song you could ever drive to. I know both you guys like driving. Great driving music.
Go.
All right, here we go. Let's get Frankie woken up here. Gotta go back, and there we are. Piano has played. What a day today. We
Busy.
did work. We did a lot of work. Well, we did a lot of work. I didn't do much. I sat around, but
I sat around a fair bit too.
yeah, we sat around together.
Yeah.
We had some fun. Naked
Good
Gun!
sitting around there.
Yeah,
Naked
the new
Gun!
Naked Gun. They were just today. They announced a new Naked Gun
Nice.
with Liam Neeson.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I watched the
Liam
trailer.
Drebin.
I watched
Hey?
the trailer. It looks so good.
Is he? Are they like bringing
That
back
was
Frank
really
Drebin?
It looks like there's a shot of them all worshiping the people that they're supposed to be playing.
Oh, yeah.
So it looks like it's like he says like something about his dad. So I'm guessing Liam Neeson is playing his son.
Perfect.
Okay.
Anyway, it looks pretty funny.
Naked.
Get
I'll show
ready
you the
for a
trailer
new
when we're
Naked Gun. Absolutely, so good.
Sir, we ship out at 06:30. Wake me up at 05:30.
And don't call me Shirley. I know it's airplane, but I'm still throwing it in there. Oh, so good.
I saw Airplane 2 on the other day.
It's not as good.
No, it was pretty funny
It's good.
though. It's got
Well, for
what's his
pilot.
name?
Airplane
What's
is-
his name?
Pilot humor.
Oh,
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's in that one.
yeah,
Let's talk
and then
about it. Or the first one.
I don't remember now.
Captain Kirk.
William Shatner.
Yeah, he's in that one.
Well,
Yeah.
Robert Stack was in the first one, wasn't he? And they say the shit's about to hit the fan.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Either way, new Naked
Great
Gun
one.
coming out. So excited for that. To Network Ryan and Uncle Brando. Great job today with the CCO stuff. So much fun. Brand new. Did so many cool things. You can be sure to check it out. It's a lot of fun. It's a whole new journey with our friends in the Commander Cookout podcast world, and very, very cool. As well to you two gentlemen right here, my sweet, beautiful pilots. Thank you so much for getting us through another incredible, amazing show. Tomorrow, the Friday Fun Table will be in the house. Hardcore will stop by. Uncle Brando will be here. And possibly a couple more surprises. I love saying there's surprises because we always get a bunch of them. Whether they come through or not, that's not as much, but we're always
It's a surprise.
thinking it. That's right. So be sure to tune in and help us all roll into the weekend together with another riveting edition of the Friday Fun Table. That is it for us here today. Remember, karma, so real. Do good things. They will start happening to you. I promise you, this place right here is evidence of that, all right? You take care of yourself. An amazing, incredible rest of your Thursday night.